This video is brought to you by the FarmerKlein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at East Groningen. But before that, this video is brought to you by Talger and Coulier Farms. Thank you for being farm barons. So the East Groningen map can be found over at the FarmingSimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you a little bit of the description. This is a Dutch map based on 3 small villages. This map includes 163 fields, 3 sell points, a BGA, many cow farms, pig sheds, and chicken areas. Based on real-life infrastructure, this map has a custom soil map where the entirety of the farm is, or the entirety of the map, I should say, is silty clay. More paintable stone types. This map is precision farming ready, and this map has a ton of required mods. So in addition to the mods we typically use when we take a look at maps, which are additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming, we're going to be making use of the big chicken barn, cow shed pack, the crop storage pack, the Dutch shed pack, the farm silo package, the manure basin, the medium bunker silo, the modern shed, the old farm package, the pig shed, pigsty, seed potato farm building pack, and the slurry storage pack. I will also tell you that if you load this map up in a farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find the main farm and all of the other farms are built out exactly how you see them here in new farm mode. In addition, the starting machinery is also available to you. Now, of course, you do not own any land in those alternate play modes, and your bank accounts are going to be different, again, per the normal bank account balances for those alternate play modes. Now we are here in new farmer mode, and when you load up the map for the very first time in any play mode, you're going to start here at the vehicle shop. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. So as you can see, this map is going to be mostly composed of small rectangular or square shaped fields. We do have all of our standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 22. And if we go ahead and take a look at our lands area, you'll see that we start out by owning farmland ID 163. That is the main starting farm. We can buy that for $54,930 in any other play mode. We also have farmland ID 13, 146, and 2. In addition to those farmlands, we have a BGA. You have farmland 176 that can be bought for $50,159. Now, there are several other farms on this map that we can buy. For example, we have at farmland ID 170, we have a chicken and sheep area. That's going to be $142,200 to buy. We also have at farmland ID 169 an arable farm that is $69,900 to buy. We also have an arable farm at farmland ID 180. as well as farmland ID 166. At farmland ID 182, we have a horse farm, farmland ID 164. We have a pig farm. That is right over here. We also have a horse area at 182. And there's possibly a few more. I'm just getting a little bit lost in my notes. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. Farmland lease screen is going to show us all of the viable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any field or fields which they include, and then ultimately how much is the farmland going to cost us. As you can see, for the most part, our farmlands and our fields are matching up 1-to-1 with respect to the numbering, which is really convenient and really nice to see. We're also able to see that overall the farmlands are somewhere between less than 1 hectare in size and about 2.5 hectares as far as the average field, or sort of say farmland sizes. Then as we get up beyond field 163, we're just going to have unnumbered or unfielded farmlands. Taking a look at our field calculator screen, this is going to show us the specific sizes of each specific field. Now, a lot of these farmlands are just the same size as the fields, but in the event that the farmland does include land other than the field, this is a good representation of exactly how large the fields are versus the farmlands that they correspond with. Let's go ahead and take a look at our precision farming soil map. And remember, I mentioned that this map was entirely silty clay. So unlike other maps, we really don't need to put any strategy into which areas we do or do not buy in order to maximize our yield. Let's go ahead and take a look at our crop counter. You can see that we do have the standard base game crop counter available to us on this map. And if we look at our prices screen, well, you will see that we do have the ability to sell most, but not all of the crops that we can grow. In fact, we do not have the ability to sell olives. And in addition to that, we also do not have the ability to sell any wool. So as far as our animal outputs go, we have the ability to sell eggs and milk, but no wool, which is rather interesting because we do have sheep pre-placed on the map. Now, if we continue down, we do have the ability to sell our silage, hay, straw, and grass. And then if we take a look at our productions, we do have the ability to once again sell most of our productions. But once again, just like wool, we do not have the ability to sell fabric. But rest assured, we do have the ability to sell clothing, but sorry. You're going to have to put down your own tailor because the tailor is not one of the 7 pre-placed production areas that are available on the map. Now, as far as the rest of our production goes, we are also missing the ability to sell our chocolate, as well as our planks. Now, we do have the ability to sell furniture, but we don't have a sawmill on the map. We also do not have the ability to buy bulk lime, according to this screen. I think we're going to find, when we get around to drive around, we do have an area for bulk lime. I just don't know why it's not showing up here. Then we do also not have the ability to separate or to crush our stones, to get rid of our stones off the fields. So if you do play with stones enabled, you are going to need to put down your own stone crusher. Now, again, if you are playing with the Platinum expansion, you're once again going to need to put down your own sell point because we do not have the ability to sell any of the Platinum expansion items. If you are playing with pumps and hoses, rest assured you will be able to sell your separated manure. And since this map includes the seed potato farm building pack, we have waste potatoes, seed potatoes, and premium potatoes all available for sale as well. Taking a look at our vehicle overview, we have all brand new machinery. None of it is leased and all of it is well maintained. We do have 1 pig. Then we also have 80 cows at the start. But I've gone ahead and bought the other farmlands. Okay. So actually, I kind of misspoke there. We have 1 pig at the start, but we don't have pigs at the starting farm, which is kind of odd and interesting. So we have 1 lone pig over at another area that we have to buy in order to use, but it shows up in our starting animal list. These cows, they're over at another farm. I went ahead and bought those farms, so they're available during our drive around and a flyover. And we have 80 cows in that building when we buy that particular farm. We do have contracts available. We start out with 2 large greenhouses, as well as the potato storage and sorting shed and the potato sorting shed. We do not start out by owning the BGA. I went ahead and purchased the BGA just so that I can demonstrate that we can sell the BGA if we wish. This map also includes 20 collectibles. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. We start out with the John Deere 6110M small tractor, as well as the Buer 6105 small tractor. We have the Massey Ferguson 8S 205 medium tractor, the Schaefer 2630 front loader, and for the front loader, we have a manure fork. We have the Nordstein HK25 NS 3030 Power Harrow Seeder combination. We've got a pair of mowers in the GMD 4411 and the GMD 3123F side and front mowers, respectively. We've got the Kuhn GF 8712 tedder, as well as the Pottinger Top 342 windrower. We have the Trail King Silo King TMR mixer and the Pottinger Fario 4010D forage wagon. Take a look at our mods and DLCs page. You will see that there are no custom vehicles or implements that are a part of this map, but we do have within the Seed Potato Farm building pack, which is a required mod. We've got a couple potato boxes, empty pallets, and a pallet of big bags. Let's go ahead and jump over to our starting farm. And as we jump over to our starting farm, we're going to find that we have 3 pull-through silage bunkers. We also have a cow area. The cow area is going to hold 140 cows. We have our slurry point. A machine shed holding most of our machinery. We have a deco farmhouse. This does not have a sleep trigger. We have our milk. And then we have our food and straw triggers inside the building. Now, as far as what happens if you try to sell the buildings here on the starting farm. Well, you can sell the cow shed minus the green wheelbarrow. That remains around. Minus the igloos. They remain around. The deco farmhouse, the hedges, the building here for our machinery, it all sticks around. Now we can get rid of the 3 silage bunkers, but that's it. So we get rid of the cow shed and the 3 bunkers. The rest of the farm area here is going to kind of stick around. Now, other than a wheelbarrow, everything else is kind of out of the way. But still, we cannot get rid of everything here at the main farm. Let's get a little bit of altitude and we'll kind of just take a little quick 360-degree spin. As is typical with Dutch maps, we're going to find that the farmland is fairly flat, if not entirely flat. We do have a fair bit of waterways on this map, again, kind of keeping with the overall Dutch theme. Below we have what I would classify as an arable farm area. We basically have a deco house and a shed. We do have a maintenance trigger in there. Here we have the pig buildings and a couple sheep pens. We have a fuel point, our dairy. We have our vehicle shop. We have a grain mill down below. Do have some power towers running through the fields, and they do have collisions. So be aware the power towers running through the fields are collisioned. So if you do play with AI help, they will avoid those at all cost. Down here we have the mysterious pig area, where we have one lone pig at the start that occupies one of these buildings that we own, but even though we don't own any of the land. But if we buy the land, we will have 2 other pig areas, as well as a chicken area, I believe. Making our way to the north. We have our 2 large greenhouses down below. These are owned at the start. We have another arable farm area right here beside field 134. And then right across the street, we have a fuel station and a grocery store sell point. Making our way around the eastern side of the map. We're coming up to another cow farm. It's going to be located right here. And that's where we have our 80 cows at the start. Just to the south of that, we have a horse area, complete with riding rink. Another fuel station. Now, as far as production built in, this map includes 7 production items built in. They include the BGA, a dairy, 2 large greenhouses. Got another grocery sell point below. We have a grain mill, the potato storage and sorting facility, and the new potato sorting facility. So we are going to be giving the map a full point with respect to having production items or areas set aside for such. Here we have our BGA, and if you own the BGA, you will be able to sell the BGA. So let's go ahead and just kind of demonstrate that. And presto, whammo, that is gone. But what we can't get rid of are the 3 silage bunkers. For whatever reason, even if we hit demolish, they will stay forever. Also, we have the scale. That is also going to stay forever. But if you are playing with pumps and hoses and you do want to kind of put down your own thing, you will be able to here on the map once you kind of buy the BGA. Now, as far as those production potato sorting buildings, they're going to be located right here. In fact, if we go ahead and open up the door here, you're going to see the potato sorting facility inside. And then the storage facility. With more sorting going on here. Now, something at this area which kind of confounds me, I'm a little confused about, not really sure what's going on here, is that we pull up the F1 menu. I want to show you this, and I don't know what's going on. So, of course, we come over here, we can turn on the lights, right? And then we have this trigger here. It says action fold. Okay, now it says action unfold. But I don't know what it did. I have no idea what it did. I just folded something or unfolded something, and I don't know what I did. So if anybody has a clue what this building does and what fold and unfold is supposed to do, I would love to know down in the comments below. Go ahead and make our way back over to our vehicle shop. And then we'll get on with the drive around. As far as our scoring, we're going to be getting a map 3/4 of a point with respect to being able to sell all our vehicles, or not our vehicles, but all of our crops, animal outputs, and production items, because we are missing the ability to sell olives, wool, fabric, chocolate, and planks. Now, something that I have not been able to find here at the dealer is the dealer maintenance trigger. I have looked all over inside the showroom here, inside the shed, outside the shed, across the street from the shed, and at no point have I been able to find the maintenance trigger, if one even exists here. Which somewhat confuses me, but also means that we might not have the ability to repaint our vehicles, because oftentimes that feature is limited to the dealer trigger. Go ahead and make our way around. So across the street from our dealer, we have a wash bay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pressure washers already set up. We have our grain mill, and we won't need to go in the grain mill, but we've got our pallet spawn pointer, interactive icon, and a dump station right there. The area over here to our left is kind of an interesting setup. It's kind of set up like a recycling center, right, with the various containers and such. Although there doesn't appear that there's any actual triggers here. Just down from our vehicle shop, we have our dairy. So we have our interactive icon at the front door, dump station, and pallet spawn point around the back. Across the street from that, we have our fuel point. And behind the dairy, we have something else going on here. I want to go point that out. So here we have what I think is the ability to buy bulk lime. I haven't tested it, but we do have, well, we've got the unload icon. We've got lime there, right? So even though we don't have the ability to buy lime listed in the prices screen, we do appear to have that functionality. We have a sell point for our bales, as well as sell point for our potatoes, sugar beet cut, corn and chaff, then our grain crops. Let's make our way now over to the chicken and sheep area. Wow. Don't try this at home, boys. It takes talent to drive a quad bike like this. We have 4 chicken buildings and one of the slowest gates you've ever seen in your life. Decent sized area here for our machinery. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that gate so it actually opened by the time we're ready to use it. We have 2 sheep areas, 15 sheep apiece. Now again, I find it maybe a little bit of an oversight the fact that we have 2 sheep areas, but we don't have any way of processing our wool. We don't have any way of processing our fabric. We could sell clothing if we put our own tailor down, which is a point, right? There's nothing prohibiting us from doing that, but it would be nice to see the ability to process, at a minimum, animal outputs from all the animals that are already embedded on the map. So we have our milk, not our milk, but our water. We have our food, and we have our wool spawn. Now, each of these buildings are all the same. So we have our chicken food point. We have our egg spawn point. And we have our chicken drop-off point. 5,000 chickens inside of here. So we have the ability to have 20,000 chickens in this one facility. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of poultry. Glad the chickens on this don't produce manure. Just saying. So to the south, we have the potato sorting facility that we just looked at a little bit brief ago. Here we have a farmhouse, and it's kind of an open area, ready for you to put your own stuff down. Okay. And what the hey, while we're here, let's go ahead and explore the build mode. I know we haven't looked at build mode yet. There are a ton of mandatory mods, and it looks as if, right? Looks as if at one point in time there were buildings here. Maybe they were removed before the map was released. Maybe there's some more required mods that aren't required, and as such, they're not here in the map because they weren't loaded up. But we do have a ton of buildings here because they are included with the various required mods. Silos, storage items, containers and such. As well as our farmhouses. We've got custom production with respect to the potato pack and a couple other things. Custom sell points, again, because of the potato pack. Do have custom animal pins, again, because of those required mods. Fairly standard deco stuff. Now, the map did say something about several paintable stone textures. So we have our asphalt. We have concrete in various formats. Animal mud. Asphalt. More concrete. Dirt. Forest ground. Multiple grasses. Gravels. Rocks. Trees. Fairly standard farm sim trees. And fairly standard plants. Got some paving stones. Some lattice work. Then we have our rocks. Now, with respect to buildings and ground textures where appropriately are using the new texturing technique, I'm going to go ahead and give the map a full point there as well. A lot of these buildings that are placed on this map are using that new texturing technique. There's a few buildings that maybe The siding isn't using the new technique, but we do have the new windows, the new 3D windows going on here. And then the new ground textures, they all looked really, really well done. Again, using that new technique. So we have another grocery sell point. So we're going to have to go around the back in order to get in here. This map would be ideal for small machinery. Maybe low horsepower, maybe sub 150 horsepower vehicles. Machinery 6 meters or less. You're definitely going to want machinery that folds up to come down through these narrow roads. I will tell you something that I just thought about that I don't think I have really found up to this point. And that is the animal dealer. So I'm going to take a quick break and see if I can find that. Because, again, I don't recall seeing it in any of my pre-stream kind of explorations. So we've got our horse barn here, 14 horses. We have our food, straw, and all of that. And I can tell you now, I have taken a rather extensive look at the map. We do not have an animal dealer, as best I can tell. So, unless the animal dealer is hidden and we do not have in any way the dealer trigger hotspot icon, we are faced with an issue where we do not have the ability to transport our animals to the animal areas. We've got to buy them directly at the animal area. And I'm checking out this mirror finish on the side of the road here. Kind of an interesting thing. Just a random blurry tank sitting over here beside Field 98. Again, do not try this at home. We are an expert driver. Highly qualified. Closed course. So we have another pig, or another cow farm over here. This is basically directly to the north of the horse area. Got a large machine shed. Diesel storage. We have 2 pull-through silage bunkers. Then we have our cow pen. So we have our slurry point. We have our food trough straw area. We have our dairy, our milk trigger. And then this will hold 200 cows, and we already have 80 at the start. Oh, ladies, you don't need to give up on my account. Slurry storage. Now maybe we'll see the proper way to get in here. Uh-oh. Don't mind me, I was just checking my text messages. Don't text and drive, people. It's bad. Couple really small fields over here. And we'll make our way up and over. We have another cow farm, 165. I failed to buy that one earlier. So this will hold 70 cows. We have our slurry point, again with the bucket. We have our milk trigger. We have our food trough. We're going to be able to buy seed or mineral feed into the silo. And we have 2 pull-through silage bunkers. Now, with respect to these secondary farms, and I may or may not have mentioned it, honestly, I've recorded this video about 3 different times. And believe it or not, this is my best take yet. So, I may or may not have mentioned this in this take, but with respect to the other farms here, we can sell most of the stuff. Not all of the items are going to be able to be sold at every single farm. And then what we can sell at certain farms is going to be different from various farms. So I'm pretty sure I mentioned we're going to give the map 3/4 of a point with respect to can the farms be customizable, because of the fact that while we can sell a lot of the things at a lot of the farms, we can't sell everything everywhere, and that would be really convenient. So here we have kind of an arable area. It's kind of arable farm. Across the street from that, we have fuel and another grocery sell point. Some of the fencing on some of these farms can be sold and taken down. Other fencing is permanent. Our 2 greenhouses that we own at the start are coming up. They are just south of Field 31. That was one of the kind of small buyable areas. Kind of small buyable placeable areas that we have on the map. So we have our 2 large greenhouses here, water trigger. We own these greenhouses at the start. And I think we'll wrap it up by heading over here to the pig area. We can figure out how to get to the pig area. All right. Wow. How about that? So this area does have a farmhouse. We have food, we have slurry. So we have pig building number 1. Where we already had our original pig in it. And then we have 3 more buildings exactly the same. We have our slurry point. We have our food point. And 250 pigs in each of these buildings. 1, 2, and 3. We've got our manure lagoon. Here for our liquid manure. And a nice building to store your root crops in, crops, or other items. Now, with respect to triggers being easily identified, trigger and interactive areas being clearly marked. Well, we're going to give the map 3/4 of a point because of there not being a clearly marked dealer trigger at the main dealer. In fact, I don't even know if there's a dealer trigger there at all. I mean, technically, if there isn't a dealer trigger there, then it can't be marked, right? So you can't take points away from that. But at the same point in time, there really needs to be a dealer trigger there. So we are going to take 1/4 of a point off there. That's going to give this map a total score of 4.25 out of 5. I'd love to hear your all's thoughts on this map. What do you all think of this particular map? Are you into these Dutch style maps where we have the flat land, the waterways, narrow lanes, and such? And until next time, happy farming.